Hello students, here is another question. The following data represents the GPA of a sample of 15 students enrolled in math class. Use technology and round to 4 decimal places. We want to find the quartiles, the mean, the median, and range. We want to find the sample standard deviation, the interquartile range, the lower and upper limits to find the outliers, and then the variance or the sample variance. So the first step I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy the table and I'm going to head to an Excel sheet and paste it anywhere. Once I have my information, I'm going to start computing the quartiles. So the first quartile and the third quartile can be computed individually using quartile inclusive. We're going to stick to the inclusive in our class. There are other ways to compute the first quartile and the third quartile. And if you use the calculator, it's going to give you different answers. So I'm going to select my data, and then I'm going to type 1 for first quartile. For the third quartile, it's the same. So quartile.inclusive, and then I will select my numbers, and then type 3 for the third quartile, or double click on the options that show here. If you choose 0 or 4, it's going to give you the maximum and minimum, or the minimum and maximum respectively. Now that I have the first quartile and the third quartile, it says here to round to 4 decimals. I don't have 4 decimals here, so I'm just going to copy and paste and check my answers. Since you're doing your homework, this is the whole point of doing homework, is to practice the concept and build up the skills using Excel. The next question is finding the mean and median and range. We can find the mean and median and range, again, using individual function. The mean is equal to average. And we select our data and click enter. And then the median is median, the function median. I'm going to copy that and paste it into an Excel sheet. Sorry, and paste it over here. And then we need to find the range. The range is basically maximum minus minimum. So first I'm going to find the maximum and minimum. And then, so max is equal to minimum is equal to, double click on the minimum function and then select that. Now the range is basically the maximum minus the minimum, which is 2.1. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste it over here. The sample standard deviation, we want to find the sample standard deviation and the sample variance at the very bottom. Here we go. So we're going to find the sample standard deviation. So the sample standard deviation is standard deviation dot S, and then you select that. So there is a difference between the standard deviation that is computed from a population and the standard deviation that's computed from a sample, and I forgot to round. So to round my number, I have to click on the number and then reduce the fractions or reduce the decimals. So I'm just going to copy that and paste it again. And I need the variance. So the variance, the sample variance is basically sample variance is the function var.s. And then I need to round to 4 decimals using the round function at the top. Sorry, not here. It's at the bottom there. Okay. Now we need to find also the interquartile range. The interquartile range is Q3, the third quartile minus the first quartile. So the interquartile range, IQR, is equal to the third quartile minus the first quartile. So here is my interquartile range. I will be using that in finding the lower bound and the upper the lower limit and the upper limit to determine the outliers. Now to find the lower limit, we're going to say the lower limit is Q3. Let me write the formula for you. Sorry, it's Q1 minus 1.5 times IQR. And the upper limit is equal to Q3 plus 1.5 times IQR. So I'm just going to follow this formula exactly. So I'm going to say this is equal to Q1. I'm going to click on the number Q1 minus, I see 1.5, so I'm going to type 1.5 times IQR. I have IQR, so I'm going to click on the value of IQR. So this is my lower limit. And then the upper limit is equal to Q3. So I'm going to click on Q3 plus, I see plus, I'm going to type plus 1.5 times the IQR. I'm going to click on IQR. So here is my upper limit. That means any number that is below the lower limit and any number that is above the upper limit is going to be considered an outlier in this set of data. So this is how you're going to answer this question. I hope this video helped you. If you have any questions, please let me know.